According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, more than 29 million Americans have diabetes. Yet, 1 out of 4 are unaware of their diagnosis.
The question that arises is, why are we seeing so much diabetes and why is there a diabetes explosion? And the real reason is the malnutrition of affluence. So that there is an obesity epidemic in the United States. Americans are getting fatter and fatter, particularly abdominal girth increase in size, which leads to resistance to the action of insulin, and so glucose is not metabolized and people become diabetic.
While there has been great progress in treating blood glucose levels, there has been little success in controlling the long-term complications to the nerves from diabetes and other metabolic disorders.
One of the biggest problems with diabetes is not the diabetes itself. It's the complications. And we have 2 types of complications. One is what they call macrovascular, like the heart attacks, the strokes, and the gangrene. And the other is microvascular. And microvascular is nerve damage, damage to the retina with vision impairment, and damage to the kidneys, as well as damage to the nerves in the feet, which lead to foot ulcers, amputations, instability, and falls. There is a relatively slow progression of the complications. So if you can recognize them early, you are, for the most part, capable of slowing the progression. Maybe not eliminating, but slowing the progression.
Impedo Medical, a company located in San Diego, California, has developed an innovative way of testing the way nerves function.
Peripheral Medical is a company we created in 2005 to develop technology to assess autonomic small fiber neuropathy, which is an unmet need in neurology and diabetes complication. We invested more than $20 million in research and have more than 60 scientific papers published up to now. We are a global company. We sold more than 2,000 units all over the world. SUDOSCAN is a very innovative and well-patented technology. It's using an electrochemical reaction between chloride ions in the sweat and the electrodes. SUDOSCAN applies small voltage on the palms and soles of the feet to stress the sweat glands at the maximum ability to deliver chloride. So it's a very robust and reproducible technology and measurement.
Diabetes remains a huge medical problem. Even though we achieved a lot in medical science, diabetes is still on the rise, and part of that because we don't diagnose it early enough. Autonomic nervous system is a special type of nervous system that controls all the bodily functions. It controls our heart and blood vessels and makes sure that blood pressure catches up when you exercise, when you get up. It controls lungs, it controls intestines and stomach and bladder and sexual organs. It also controls the regulation of the body temperature. It controls the amount of sweat that we produce, because sweat is a natural coolant of our body. So, by diagnosing this part of autonomic system, which is sweat gland production, we can actually judge the health of the entire autonomic system.
So for us to know that we've impacted nerve function, improved the life and the quality of life of the individual, we'd have to do extensive measures. We'd have to do skin biopsies and look at nerve regeneration, nerve conduction studies to show enhancement of nerve conduction, quantitative sensory tests, which have a wide variance. Those are some of the examples of what we had to do. Time-consuming, laborious, filled with error. Now we have a device that can measure electrical conductance along the sweat gland, and we can do that in 2 minutes, maybe 3. Get an instantaneous readout, and it is 75% sensitive, 98% specific, less than 5% error. It can all be done in a couple of minutes.
It's a very important tool that allows us to monitor the progression of the disease. I have to say that those nerves that control sweat glands, they have ability to recover. Unlike what we were told in medical school many years ago, we were told that nerves don't recover. The recent scientific discoveries showed that sympathetic nerves can actually recover. So it is very important to apply the treatment early at the period when it's a graceful period, when we still can make a change and recover those nerves. The test SUDOSCAN gives us objective tool that can help to understand if the treatment is working or it needs to be modified.
SUDOSCAN has significant advantages over current standard diabetic neuropathy assessments. This non-invasive, painless test delivers a more clinically meaningful tool for measuring neuropathy progression.
If I do anything to change the function of those nerves, will this device show it to us? Will it say, okay, you did this and this is the result? Well, we conducted that study. We did gastric bypass in people to try and cure them of their diabetes. We got a wonderful response rate, and it's one of the few things you can do to cure diabetes is a gastric bypass. And then we showed that with SUDOSCAN, within 4 months, we had reversed the nerve damage. That was the first time that had ever been done.
Value-based reimbursement is developing everywhere in the world, and it's a huge opportunity for SUDOSCAN technology. Early detection of costly complication when it's still reversible is key for this type of reimbursement. SUDOSCAN can be a huge tool for precision medicine and even for patient compliance, especially for diabetes.
For more information, visit www.sudoscan.com.